Okay, hi, you guys. It's spring. I'm Joanna with Blissful Baby Sleep Coaching, and I'm here with Jackie King, and she is a infant massage specialist. And I am delighted to be interviewing you today, Jackie. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Joanna, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So, as you guys know, I love to interview professionals that are supporting mothers and parents and babies. And I feel that Jackie, with her immense knowledge of the body and different healing modalities, as well as her expertise in adult massage and infant massage, she was like the perfect person to come in and talk to us about all these incredible benefits that come from massage. So just a little bit of background on Jackie. She has been a masseuse for adults for 20 years. And about 12 years ago, she realized she's always like the constant learner, curious about everything. And she's like,
Very
well,
true.
I am seeing like incredible benefits and recovery and health and wellness with her clients that she's like, I want to help some of these babies and children. And that's when she decided to go all in on infant and baby massage 12 years ago. And I want Jackie to start to tell us about everything that she's learned about infant and baby massage and how incredibly important it can be for parents from babies newborn all the way to 18 months to learn about baby massage.
Well, Joanna, some of the benefits include it helps a child to relax, a baby and a child to relax, which is going to help them sleep better. So when a child sleeps better, that means it's a quieter, happier house. Mom and dad are able to relax as well.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the baby to digest and eliminate much easier. And we all know that many times babies struggle with constipation, with a lot of digestive issues. And there are pieces of this routine that you can pull out just to address just the digestion portion of that.
Yes.
It increases the bond between baby and parent or caregiver, because grandparents can learn this as well. And it's a wonderful tool for helping them create that stronger bond.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps children develop faster on social, motor, and neurological levels. So the other incredible piece of this is that for premature babies, there's a lot of research that's been done that shows that when premature babies are massaged as little as 10 minutes a day, 3 times a day, their weight increases 47% per day.
Wow.
And they're able to leave the hospital 10 days sooner, which is an incredible savings financially. Plus, it just helps mom and dad to be able to relax because they now have their baby home with them.
Yes. Now, I want you guys to take a moment to kind of think about that, right? Because I actually do tend to work with a lot of families that we end up doing some sleep coaching with premature babies. And we always are taking into consideration age adjustment when we're working with premature babies. And it would be so powerful to know that if you had a premature baby, that you could incorporate into all the things that are already doing for the baby in the hospital, that you as the parent or the grandparents or any other caregivers that you have on your team that are helping you with your premature baby, to add infant massage into this, that 3 times a day, 10 minutes or less, you are going to actually increase the probability of weight gain and coming out of the hospital earlier. Not only would be such an incredible relief with knowing your babies were at once at home with you, but to see that rapid growth of weight gain, which is the ultimate understanding that you're making progress with your newborn. And also that, like what you said, is that infant and baby massage is helping absolutely anchor the social, emotional, motor, and neurological advancement. Okay.
Correct.
And that's really what the whole newborn phase, that whole first 6 months of life is. There's all of that's happening at such a rapid pace. And to know that this bonding process that you could do was actually doing all these other things for your child that are going to add up over time and make them healthier and stronger. That's so encouraging.
And it's not to say that we want to put any kind of time frame on when a child needs to develop, but just to be sure that your child is getting the best health possible, because this is such an important piece with strengthening the immune system and keeping our babies healthy. So that's a big piece of that.
Yes, especially in this last year that we've all been living through.
Yes.
With the pandemic, number one priority has been, as parents, our health, right? Because if we're good, the caregivers, and we need to keep ourselves as healthy as possible. But to know that then we're extending that health and wellness benefit to our child through the act of infant and baby massage.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that it is, maybe you could talk a little bit more about like what the routine looks like or how long it takes, and
Sure.
when to introduce it and when is it too late to introduce it. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
Happy to. There are some parents that learn this process, this group of techniques and strokes before the baby's even born. They'll practice on one of my life-size dolls that I use when I teach it. So they're familiar with the strokes already. So as soon as the baby's born, they can start massaging with them. Otherwise, it's birth up to about 18 months of age. And you can still massage your child when they're a toddler. That it's just a different depth of pressure that you're providing.
Right.
So the routine goes that it starts with the legs, because that's the least invasive part of the child. Progresses up to the stomach, the chest, face and head, and then the back. If your child is struggling with something in particular, maybe like the colic issues like we talked about earlier, or constipation, you can just pull out that piece of it and just do that, and help your child get some relief that way. You could also do work just on the sinus area if you notice that your child has some stuffy sinuses, and just work on that. In my program, I show all of the strokes, 5 to 7 repetitions of each one. But parents don't need to get hung up on, I have to do this because that's what's on the video. You'll find that sometimes there's one stroke that you are more comfortable with. Maybe your child likes that one a little bit better. So you kind of find and develop your own routine of what works best for you, your child, and the time that you have available. Right. It's okay just to massage the legs or just the back. That's fine.
Right. And I feel like that's an important thing to pull out, is that the reason why the bonding element is here is, one, we know that touch is such an important part of a bonding experience. But the other part is the bonding is the emotional connection when the touch is happening.
Yes.
And so the bonding here is cross beneficial when the parent is enjoying this beautiful process as much as the baby is enjoying receiving it.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's an important part I'd like you to talk about, because sometimes as parents, especially if we're like busy or we're feeling rushed around bedtime, we have in our mind like this checklist, like, okay, I've got to, I got to bathe them. I got to feed. I need to lotion. Okay. I want to do my prayers. I want to do the song. I want to do the books. I want to, right. And there's all this kind of like, there's steps. Now the steps are important to the children. The routine is important. We know through scientific research that promoting good sleep starts with a reliable, predictable, consistent routine in the same sequence of events. That has been studied over and over again. And so if you add massage into your routine, whether you do it daily or whether you do it like you just say, I'm going to do it 3 times a week, the key is as the giver of the massage, you want to feel like this is not just another thing you're checking off the list
Correct.
to get the baby to bed. Like, you know, and again, I get it. You guys, I'm a
Correct.
mom. It's like da 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 da, check, get that baby to sleep. We
Right.
want it to, the bonding and the neurological and all that good stuff that's happening, that why we're doing it. Part of that is that connection between mother, or, you know, parent and
That's
child.
correct.
And yes. So can you talk about that?
It's
Because that's so important.
infant massage or baby massage is a program, a routine that is to be done with your child, not to your child.
Yeah. With, not to.
Correct. Children pick up on our emotions. They pick up, they can sense all those things that we're feeling. So if we're stressed out, baby's going to know that. So it's certainly not going to do the child any good if you enter into that practice when you're stressed out. You've just come from work, a hard day, and you've got to hurry up and scramble and get dinner. Hurry up and get the child into the bathtub and then do a few strokes on the leg. It's really not beneficial at all. You need to, if you're willing to commit to it, try to dedicate 10 or 15 minutes on an evening, 2 or 3 times a week. Have that your special bonding time with your child as well, so that you can enjoy this just as much.
Yeah, I just we just heard. Yeah, we just heard from Ann McCurnick, who is amazing. Thank you, Ann, for being here. That's so awesome. Ann McCurnick works with mothers and newborns, so this is her wheelhouse. So I'm glad that she's
Very
here
nice.
and that she's concurring that this is such helpful information. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ann. Thank you for that encouragement. Yes, so definitely. So you guys thinking of adding this to your repertoire, think of it this way. Think of it as doing with, not to.
Correct.
Your child. And then here's the other thing. You were talking to me about how, you know, let's talk about the bonding too, about like, this is such a great way to introduce dad, because
Absolutely.
especially if you're a nursing mom, a lot of the caregiving naturally falls onto you because of the nursing relationship. And so sometimes dads tell me like, gosh, I wish I could do more. I wish I could help more. But the nursing relationship, you know, there's some interim, there's not as many opportunities for me. And I would say that a fabulous opportunity would be, you know, infant
Yes.
massage, have dad be the infant massage guy.
That's right. It's a wonderful tool for dads to use with their babies. And if I can throw this in here, when our granddaughter was born last July, she has some constipation issues, and my son was the one that did just that tummy piece of that and helped things to normalize again. So he's always been that person to help.
Yeah. And that feels great, right? He's like, hey, you got constipation, bring the baby to me. I'll help you. And by the way, you guys, constipation is a real source of sleep disruptions. Like, it is for real. When your baby is constipated, it can absolutely cause sleep disruptions because they have a very hard time settling and soothing when they are feeling uncomfortable, bloated, stopped up for nights and naps. And so, you know, a lot of times with constipation, we address it through diet. You know, we call the pediatrician, they give us some recommendations on diet. That takes sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 days for that to kick in. In a really bad situation, they'll recommend a suppository, which of course isn't always a little bit hard on everybody. But what I hear you saying is, like, if you had this as a tool in your back pocket because you've taken Jackie's course and you know how to do some of these really important strokes, you could almost immediately start to help your child through that challenging constipation phase, which is inevitable. Everyone that has a parent, everyone that has a child will at some point have a child that's constipated. It is miserable. And you feel so bad for them. And
the strokes are so easy to do. You know, there's only just a handful of strokes that they can do, 5 minutes of time, and it's so helpful. Yeah. And I also love, Jackie, what you said about the sinuses, that, you know, again, like if our child is, you know, experiencing a cold and we know that we don't want to have to get up in there with the nose Frida, right? You know, because that's not
even though it's a
Correct.
wonderful device and it works really well, and we're all grateful for the nose Frida. But what if you had another tool in your tool chest that you could do some simple massage and stroke to really help that sinus release, so that your baby could, might not be coughing as bad with the sinus, how it goes back in, back
Yes.
in there. Mm-hmm.
And the good part about that is too that, when you're working on those areas, you can, and in the eyes, you can start to play peekaboo. You can start to sing little songs to them and make it a little bit more enjoyable for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful. So what else have you learned about infant and baby massage that you want people to know about, that they maybe were like, oh, I didn't know that, or maybe some success stories of bonding, or maybe like, maybe adopted children, like that might be a really wonderful way to help them bond
That is a
with a dog.
wonderful, a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful suggestion. Yes, a wonderful thing to bring out for adopted babies. Absolutely. Um, as far as, going back to children developing faster on social, neurological, and motor levels,
Mm-hmm.
um, years ago when I first learned this training, I went over and taught it to one of my friends and her newborn baby. And she was very religious of how often she worked with her daughter. And I went back over to see her. It had probably been 10 months, time span, that went by. And the little girl was toddling from one side of her playpen to the other. I said, is she walking already? And she said, yeah, I've been massaging her on a regular basis. I said, wow, well, that just goes to show you that children develop faster on all of these levels. And the child, she ended up learning German and English. Her grandma was teaching her German. Very, very well-mannered little girl. So.
Wow. Well, I mean, we also know that massage helps calm down the neurological system, right? And so when, the neurological system is calm, and the child's sleeping well, then, they're receptive to more learning and development and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's so amazing. So Jackie has a course. So if you are listening to this and you're like, sign me up, I'd love to learn how to do this. I'm going to put here in the chat in a second, but she has a course. It's $49, which is a steal. So thank you, Jackie, for making it so affordable
Sure.
for all for my audience. And it is, so why don't you tell us what's inside the course, what they'll learn, what are some of the bonuses that they'll get?
Oh my goodness, it is packed full of information. It's not only the techniques of how to do the strokes, okay, the video portion of that. You can download the written portion of that as well. If you're like me, you like to have books at your fingertips. So you have all of that. You've got PowerPoint information on the history of infant massage. You've got that. You've got information on bonding, how parents in general can bond with their child. Then there's a separate piece of tips on how dads can bond with the baby. There are 10 things that moms should never worry about. All of that information is in there. There's some information on postpartum depression, kind of what it is, maybe some other things that might be helpful to get through that. And there's a lot of information on essential oils in the nursery for baby, and then some things for mom to help her get through this as well.
I love that because I mean, essential oils are great because it's really plant medicine.
Yes.
And if you're buying, high quality essential oils and you're using them in the right way, they can be a wonderful, gentle adjunct to the other things that you're doing with your child. Anne Anne was so cute here. I'll tell you guys what Anne wrote. She said this, my foster babies always received a massage after bath time. It was very peaceful and they loved it. It was part of our routine. So yes,
Perfect.
Anne McCurnick has also been, not only has she had multiple children of her own, but she has also been a foster mother several times over.
Wow.
Which I love because she had foster babies, not just children. And so she got to help develop that bond and be that supportive presence in that baby's life during the time that that baby was in her household. So that is so beautiful, Anne. Thank you.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, that is so nice. Yes, I love that. I love that. That just like makes me smile so much. Yeah, so anything, you guys, again, like, I love to highlight professionals that their heart is right there, which Jackie's is. I mean, her knowledge is deep and her heart is big, and just really, giving parents the power to help themselves and help them be the parent that they want to be. And, in this time of COVID and we're still kind of getting through this, whatever we can do to help relax ourselves and relax our babies,
Yes.
I think is so important. And I thank you so much for being here and sharing all your knowledge. And I'm hoping that everyone listening to this will go check out yanabalance.com.
Yes.
And on there, I've also in the chat given you Jackie. It's Jackie at yanabalance.com. So easy to email her or to jump right there on that website and download and get instant download of her infant massage course that includes all those bonuses on 30 ways dad can bond with the baby and what moms shouldn't be worried about, and information on essential oils and all these different bonuses that she's given because she's got that heart of gold and really wants moms to feel empowered to help themselves and help their family structure. So thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. I enjoyed sharing this with you.
Awesome.
And
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.